For those of you who are entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and you really are trying to connect with AI, but it sounds fake and phony and you don't know how to make it sound more like you, then this is the episode for you because I have Mary Kay here and she has an amazing course and opportunity for you to get your AI to sound and feel more aligned with who you are authentically so you don't sound like a freaking bot or have GPT or whatever just sound like BS, right? You want it to sound like you and take some of that pressure of having to come up with new content and new ideas and new scripts and all that stuff all the time. This can be the episode that helps you align who you are to AI because AI is going nowhere. AI is here to stay. So we might as well learn how to use it and use it properly. All right, guys, here you go. What's up, y'all? This is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. And I am so excited you're here. So today we're going to have a really great conversation with Mary Kay. She is an entrepreneur, a speaker, a leadership coach behind Soul Infused AI. And it's a framework that helps business owners craft an AI voice perfectly aligned to their deepest values, their vision, and their purpose. Now, you guys know that I freaking love this conversation because I love things that help us to improve and to move forward and to be able to like use AI because AI is not going nowhere, y'all. AI is not going anywhere. So you might as well have it be infused with who you are. And that way you can really serve whoever it is you're trying to serve in the world because it's important. So with roots that she has in tech and coaching and leadership development, Mary Kay has spent years teaching parents and entrepreneurs how to authentically communicate and transform relationships. Now she fuses that wisdom with that cutting edge AI, which is here to stay, y'all, so that leaders can scale their impact without sacrificing their soul. I love that, Mary Kay. What a niche. What a niche. How are
Thank
you? Welcome
you.
to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm amazing. It's
I
just
love that.
since I have come up with this, it's been just life has just been really coming at me. And there's so many amazing things happening right now and just so excited with the space that I've created.
Oh, I love that.
Bringing everything together when it just my background, my very back in dating myself, but the 80s and 90s, I was in tech. I grew up in corporate IT. And then when I left that, I went more into that coaching, personal development realm. And now to be able to merge the two together has
Mhm.
it's just popped. My kids are like, "Mom, I've never heard you talk be so excited and so much energy in your voice."
I really
So
love that. I love that. And I love that you're using all of that wisdom to like really help, entrepreneurs and other people like understand how to take their wisdom and take the things that they know and infuse it, right? Because that's what you're doing. You're
yeah,
infusing all of
yeah.
that wisdom and talent and know-how and all of that stuff into helping others do that. And, AI, like I said, it's not going anywhere. And I know
Mm-mm.
that some people like reject it or I don't want to do it. But if you're trying to be successful, you're going to have to. You're just going to have to.
Yeah.
It's a part of the game. And truth is, and I want to like dig into your brain a little bit on this, right? So one of the things I help women create businesses that align with their values, right? And so AI,
Mhm.
of course, is a topic of that.
Mhm.
And one of the things I tell my women is I love that you're using AI, but please don't become lazy in your thinking. And I've
Yeah.
found it to be a problem with people who only use AI all the time to the point that now they question themselves even writing an email or even like thinking strategically. So what do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
I feel that AI is a co-creator with us.
Yeah.
How do we use it to co-create, to for me with AI, what it's done, I've always been more of a kind of an analytical person. I have never thought of myself as being creative, but what it does is it'll bring up ideas And then it allows me, it's
Mhm,
like,
mhm,
oh, that's
mhm,
amazing. Now I can
mhm.
go in that direction. I see where it is. I can put all the pieces together. But it kind of is, for like brainstorming, it's a partner for me to
Mhm.
brainstorm where it's got ideas, I've got ideas. And so it's not like, because if you rely on AI to do everything, it's going to be robotic and
Yeah.
cheesy with the let's shine or whatever it puts
Yeah.
out it,
It's so
right.
cheesy sometimes. It's so
It's so
cheesy.
cheesy,
Oh, yeah.
so my journey has been, how do I create that authentic AI so it really truly sounds like me and can be a partner where it allows me to get my work done just so much faster
Yeah.
because we co-create, we collaborate with ideas, and that's the way I look at a co-creator, collaborator. Like earlier higher consciousness, so it is an extension of my higher consciousness, but
Mhm.
it is me putting the work into that to create my AI in that space.
Yeah, so because you're talking about, the conscious partner that you're referring to, right? The way you
Mhm.
you say that you see AI as your conscious partner. So, okay, so for those who are listening, right? And I know that you said that, you use it as a co-creator and all of that, but what does it look like in practical terms, right? For an entrepreneur who is out here crafting content and using strategy and all that kind of stuff, how do they make
Mhm.
AI practically a conscious partner?
It's a great question because when I started this and I started thinking, I want to support others. I've been able to create authenticity. I actually went in and it's like, what is authenticity? What are the
Mm, mm,
components that create us being authentic?
mm.
And I actually ended up with 26 different components. So it's our values, our beliefs, our boundaries, the neurolinguistics, not just what you say, but how you say it.
How you
What's your
say it, yeah.
energy? Are you coming from a space of frustration or anger or victimy energy, or are you coming from a win-win and empowered space? It will pick up the words that you're using. So how do we show people how to be more authentic? I started doing, I have a workshop that's basically, I'm using it as a funnel and an introduction. And
Mhm.
one of my first proof of concept of the workshop, I was there and I was asking some of the students, what do you think of AI? And one was like, I don't trust AI worth anything. And this is where the whole leadership and coaching piece comes together. I'm like, okay, let's get curious. What is trust for you? What
Right.
is it? What is it that around? And, long story short, it came up. She's like, there's so many areas in my life I don't trust that I get to go in and I get to go work on trust because it's not just AI. There's so many other areas in my life. And once she started working on that, she started feeling more comfortable in how she trusted AI. Or another one was, somebody's like, well, there's so many other people that are using it corruptly or, abusing it. And I'm like, that you're right. You're absolutely right. And I wish there weren't. How do you show up in that situation? Where are you not, or where do you need to set your own boundaries? What
Mhm.
that looks like for you. So that is not you,
Right.
because so many people, they see AI and they want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Well,
Yes.
this and this and
Yes.
this are going on, instead of
Yep.
looking at it as a mirror of where you have fear, where are you not setting boundaries, where are you not
Mhm.
trusting. So how do you, so it's so much different, it's more expansive than putting in a prompt. And it's looking at, it's, input, garbage in, garbage out. So how are you presenting yourself, because AI is going to give you a mirror right back.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I like AI actually. I use it every day. Sometimes strategically just to like get my thoughts all out. I spit out all my thoughts and I'm like, okay, these are all my thoughts. Can we organize this in a way that it looks a little bit, because I'm ADHD, right? So I have a lot of thoughts running around in my head all
Mhm,
the time,
mhm.
every day. And some of them are brilliant, some of them are not. So I try to like spit
Right,
them all
right.
out and hope that, and it does a great job at organizing it. Well, Nina, because
Mhm.
of this, because I also set up my AI to know my voice, my brand, how I speak, what I do, like all of that kind of stuff. And so I wanted to ask you about that because you were talking about how Soul Infused AI and you said AI voice that mirrors you, right? That mirrors who you are, like your values and your purpose and all that. So for those who are listening and are like just getting into AI or really trying to make AI be like them, and not like we said in the beginning, how it sounds so like, what is that? Like, oh,
Yeah,
hello,
yeah.
Trailblazer. I'm like, if I see another hello, Trailblazer, I'm going to scream. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already know, like, automatically when I get an email and it's completely AI, you kind of know because we talk
Yeah,
differently than AI talks, right? So
yeah.
tell me about the mirroring and what's the first step that those of us who are learning from you and listening, how do we ensure that their AI generated stuff that they're outputting actually
Mhm.
feels like them, like almost unmistakably like them? How
Right,
do we
well,
do
so
that?
and what we do in my course, I'm gonna have a couple components of my course, is one, to really go in and analyze what are your values. Going
Mhm.
in and doing a value process, unlearning, for me, authenticity is my number one value, family, spirituality. So it has those things, going into values, looking at the words you use also. And you can do things like I'm going to also have GPTs that will create a lot of these. So GPT is something that you can customize to
Mhm.
find out as you feed it information, and it can find, go in a specific. So neurolinguistics, it's learning how, maybe asking you to speak into it and share your ideas and then go back and review. And I find a lot of it is reviewing how you show up and getting analysis and getting feedback
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
from AI is a
Mhm.
huge piece of it.
Mhm.
But what we're going to do in my course is really go in and look at your energy and how you're showing up and what are your those issues, those challenges that show up in your life. And really by saying, asking what are some of the things that you have challenges with AI, because then we can
Mhm.
take those pieces and go, okay, where else in your life is this showing up? Because if you're saying this about AI, it is showing up everywhere. You
Yeah.
know, how you
Yeah.
do anything is how you do everything.
Yeah. And okay, so I get the review piece because that makes a lot of sense, right? It's
Mhm.
because AI can do everything at scale, right? Authenticity can be lost. Do you agree with that? Like
Yeah.
if you do too much, like if you because okay, so I've been watching like different videos on AI and like doing content in bulk. I have my own VA team, and so they do a lot of things too. And I'm just like, how do we do this where yes, we want to put out more content, but and we want to use AI to help us with this, bulk content, if you will. But I
Mhm.
feel like sometimes it loses its voice. Do you ever feel that way? Like sometimes if you do it in rapid, I don't want it to dilute the authenticity. Does that make sense? Because I
Yes,
think that
yes.
rapid content creation, and for all of us who are entrepreneurs and don't want to be sitting in front of freaking social media for 12 hours, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm,
how can we
mhm.
leverage AI to amplify our voice, but not sound like a bot after a while? Because you're I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes when I'm doing bulk, I feel like it's repetitive or it like it sounds
Yeah,
the same almost, and I'm just like, okay, this is not getting me right now. Is there a way
right.
to do that, or is
Yes, I
okay?
mean, there really is. So what I do is, and what my course is going to create is an authenticity, a soul infused blueprint. So
Okay.
we're going to go to these 26 components I've created and
Mhm,
go
mhm,
through them. What's your values? How do you sound? Are you somebody that's
mm,
warm, compassionate? And you're going to come back with a document that you can then put into your AI and say, this is who I am. Now, from this, right, that's where we're going to create this content with this profile as your guide. Because this
okay.
is really, so hitting all of those components. So you can take it and put it into any, whether you're using Gemini or Claude or Chat or whatever it is. Now they always allow you to have files. I have a whole file, a folder of my documents, that this is my brand, this is my brand voice, this is my personal voice.
Yeah.
And so what you do is you build a guide around it on what are those components that make you who you are. And when
Mm-hmm.
you bring these things in, I found that it really does, it creates my authentic voice almost every time.
Mm. That's good. That's so good. Especially because I think a lot of us who are out here who are entrepreneurs and all that, our brain is overwhelmed. There's too way too much of the shiny object syndrome. There's just is too much. I'm a
Yeah.
victim of it. So
Yeah.
I mean, I constantly like
Me
I
too.
know what I'm doing and I'm very good at what I do. And then I see something like, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, wait, that's a good idea. Especially when I
Hmm.
first started coaching many, many years ago, it was like everybody's idea was a good idea. And I was trying to implement all of these ideas. So how do you keep yourself organized, Mary Kay? Like how do we not run amok, right? Because AI gives you so many amazing it really does. It gives you amazing tools,
Hmm.
ideas, frameworks. I mean, it just does so much, right? And I'm so honestly, I'm grateful to be 52 and to be here at a time where I
Right.
can
Hmm.
utilize this. And I'm also
Yeah.
grateful that I was of a Generation X where I didn't have any of this technology. So I feel like I
Yeah.
have two parts of my brain working, right? The very
Right.
practical part and then the very AI wanting to do part. How do we keep that together though, Mary Kay? Like what is it that you're doing with clients, with your clients specifically, where you're keeping them creative and using AI, but not just losing themselves in the process? Does that make sense?
It's, you know what? For me, it's doing the work. It's doing the personal development work so you
Yeah.
understand
Okay.
yourself, and you don't get a pass on that.
Right.
It's you
Right.
don't get to be lazy. I mean, I have used AI and I've used it as my therapist, but it's always guiding me into a space and I'm doing the work. Or
Mm-hmm.
going back to the mirror and the authenticity, if it's still not sounding right, where in you is that? What is it? And as for, the piece specifically on getting lost, I love getting lost in AI. There's like, for me, it's setting my intentions on how I really want to use it. And you can
Mm.
use you can help it can help you also create that. Here's what my intentions. I have my 2025, that I have created, my plan. I call it MKG on fire. What is 2025? And then setting those actions that I get to create for myself.
Mm.
So you really use it again as that partner. And then I have these actions or these mileposts, these things that I get to, my own goals to create. And so what I'm finding though is I'm able to create them more, faster and faster, because I have this tool that when I do write the content, it is sounding more like me. And I can get it done in, even, just a quarter of the time, just
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
more. I mean, it's when I started using some of these and going in last year into the authenticity piece and using it, I was spending about 3 hours a day. And I was able to give those 3 hours a day to AI where it does the work. So I find myself in a space where I can go and create something and use my mind in a different way.
Mm.
Using for if I have all my prompts and everything in place and I'm feeding it so that doing content creation or posts are not that
Yeah.
repetitive type
Yeah.
thing. I'm not the one that's creating it. I can go and I can run my business. And where I went with that when all this happened is I get to go into connection. I get
Mm-hmm.
to go into building relationships. So
Mm-hmm.
I let it do all the heavy lifting so I can spend time connecting with people,
That's
which is
good.
where I really love to be.
Yeah, that's good too, right? Like, when you can take the stuff that is taking up too much space in your mind, right? Like,
Mhm.
I honestly do not want to be on social media unless I absolutely have to. This is why I have a team because I'm like, you need to do it. I don't want to
Yeah.
do it, right?
Yeah.
And so I let them know my ideas, what I want to do, all that kind of stuff. So now that's like brain dumping. Like, I get it all out, and then I tell my assistants, and I know that with now with ChatGPT, I don't know about the others. I can actually have my team members on with, they can just go in
Mhm.
there and just get
Yeah.
what I brain dumped
Yeah.
which is really amazing. So where do you see the future going with this stuff, right? Because I know that you have a course coming out and I do want to talk about that. And I'm talking, because I love the way you're talking about this conscious leadership in the age of AI, right? So
Mhm.
like looking ahead, how do you envision AI like reshaping the traits and the values that we have as leaders? Because leadership is changing, as you know, right?
Yeah.
Leadership is just becoming it's a great
Mhm.
topic actually. It's becoming a really great thing where we're becoming more empathetic, we're becoming more servant leaders, like we're becoming there's a lot of things
Heart
changing.
space. Yeah,
Yes,
heart space leadership.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
do you
And
think purpose-driven, heart-spaced entrepreneurs can really start, cultivating to stay ahead of the curve? Like what do you see happening with AI?
the more that you can create the AI that is authentic to you, the less work you're going to have to do with the things that we do to get your visibility to be out there to. And that for me, then what it focuses on, it allows me to focus on the relationships, the connections that I'm making, where it goes in and does, like you said, I don't love being on social media. Let it do it. Let it The more authentic it is, the more they're going to get to know me still through my AI.
Right, right. I
And
love that.
yeah, and I really fought a long time because again, my highest value is authenticity. So how do I create this that is where it is just an extension of my voice, of my
Mhm.
higher consciousness coming out there. And the
Mhm.
more I can go out and I can create from that on there, it allows me to be in that leadership, that servant leadership space of connecting with people and guiding them because you're right, and it's funny that you're saying that because I am hearing that from all the thought leaders that I'm around in my networks on how things are shifting right now from that forced, like the workshops that they're talking at you, into a facilitation and empowerment of others around you.
Mhm.
And so I think AI just supports us with doing those other things so much quicker. Or having, for me, I'll use it at brainstorming. I'll get on and I'm like, this is my idea. What do you think? Where can I go with this? And it's always like, well, you could do this or this. Which one do you want to do? And you can have those conversations with it to create and to move yourself further into spaces that you never even thought you'd be in.
Right. Isn't that cool? One thing I have been seeing, and I wanted to maybe you have a case study or something along these lines. I've been seeing a lot of people, I don't know if it's clickbait or what it is, but on especially on YouTube, that will say, okay, I asked ChatGPT to lay out a six-figure business, a service business for me, blah, 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 blah. We're gonna follow it step by step, right? Do you do you think that, or do you have like an experience or case study in your own self or with one of your clients where you've seen them use that roadmap and be successful at the outcome they wanted with AI?
I actually have not.
Yeah,
I've not. And to me, I do see that as being clickbait
yeah.
because you you've got to put in, you have to have the mindset work. AI is not going to move you forward. If you're
Mhm.
not doing the work, the mindset, clearing your mind, the fear, getting rid of any type of, money fear, or where you're not able to push yourself forward. And that's like this last year, because I've used it, but I've also done the work. I look and I see where I've struggled and gone in and shifted that,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
what's made it more and more powerful. So that's why the two work so well together,
Mhm.
because you've got to do the work. Nothing's going to take you to that six figure, seven figure business
That's
if
right.
you're not putting the time in on yourself. It's not, it reminds me of like the law of attraction. Well, if I sit here and I think about it, it's going to happen. Nothing happens if you're not putting
Exactly.
action in, right? And that's the same thing with
Right.
AI, with this.
Yes, exactly. I agree with that 1,000%. And so I that's the reason why I asked because like when I went on to ChatGPT and I was like, okay, so let's start working on my next year's plan, right? So we started working on the plan. I started going back and forth with it, trying to like refine it and kind of, make it
Mhm.
better. I've given it my voice, my prompts, my brand, my whole thing. So it does sound a lot like me. It's not like me, but it does sound a lot like me. It's
Mhm.
missing the sarcasm piece, but that's okay. And it sometimes it has the sarcasm, but it's a little too much. I'm like, all right, dial it back, dial it back. You're a little too
Yeah,
sarcastic.
yeah, yeah.
But I love that, Mary Kay. And I love what you're doing. And I love how you're helping people like align that because it's super important. So I want to talk to you about the course you're coming out with and have people understand what it's about and what they can get out of the course when it comes out. Because I know, well, by the time this airs, it might be out already. So talk to me about your course.
So my course is Soul Infused AI Mastery. It's going to be an 8-week course, and what we're going to do is it is a combination of coaching, the spirituality and the AI. So how do we look at you and say, okay, what are those things right now? What are the challenges that you're having? Where are those also showing up in AI? And through using GPTs and some processes like a value, looking at their values, that type of thing, and we'll go through and I will help them create the big product. There's a lot of smaller deliverables like GPTs where if things change, they're going to be able to go to those GPTs and reevaluate where they are so that they're
Okay.
able to update. And these pieces will all fit into this Soul and Views blueprint that they're then going to be able, this deliverable, it'll be a document that they can put into any AI product that will then say, this is who I am, use this here as a guide.
Mm. That's great. Okay, great. And so it's going to be 8 weeks of a program. So can people come in at any time in the 8 weeks, or do you have like a cohort starting and then they run with you the 8 weeks? How are you doing that?
So I will be doing a weekly Q&A. Anybody
Okay.
who is enrolled in the course can jump into the Q&A. And if they want more support, one-on-one support, that'll be a higher price point. But the course is going to be, they'll be able to sign up at any point in
Oh,
time.
good. Good. Okay.
The modules are going to be online, so they'll go through the
Oh,
modules,
good.
the
Okay.
videos, and then they can jump on calls with questions.
Okay, great, great, great. I just wanted to know because, like I said, when this comes out, like my team SEOs the heck out of it and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know when people will actually like, they'll receive it right away or they'll receive it a day later or a week later. I just want to make sure they can
Mhm.
come on whenever. So that's good. That's good
Yes,
to know.
absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. So I want to know, and this is going to be a tricky question for you, but I want to know if you have a favorite AI platform.
Right now, my favorite AI platform is chat.
Yeah, mine
I've
too.
been with chat for almost 2.5 years. It knows me so well.
Yeah.
It's just it's one that I use a bunch of other ones, but it's the one that has everything that I am. It's like I don't know if I'll ever be able to let go of chat
I think
because
I think that's where they got us cornered in the
right,
market because
right,
they came
yeah,
out and we all got on and now it knows us so well. Like, honestly, I mean, it's a little scary too how well it knows us though.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I agree. And I'm like, my husband was using it the other day and because I introduced him to it and he fell in love with freaking chat GPT. So now he's
yeah.
like, oh, I look at my notes. My notes are amazing. And I'm like, oh my God. Anyway, he was saying something. He's like, oh my God. What did he say? Chat GPT is stupid or something. I said, don't be nice. Be nice. It knows you very well. Don't be mean. So it was just funny because you almost start to think of it as a partner for real or as a friend for real if you use it all the time. Especially when they came out with that amazing like voice thing where you actually
Right.
speak to it. That thing is awesome. Mary
I
Kay.
know, right? I know. I love the voice, and I love to
I do
go.
too.
Yeah, I used to, like, take on my phone if I was walking. When I walk is when I get all my ideas, and I
Hmm.
used to just put it into notes. Now I put it into chat because I can take that, and then it's recorded, and then it can be used for content.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah. I love that.
I
It's a great
absolutely love
idea.
it.
Great
Yeah,
idea.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so good,
It's
right?
gonna
We're
be a
living in a good time, Mary Kay. We're living in a good time, you
we
know?
really are, and, for
Yeah,
those that say, "Well, I know there's a lot of people are worried about the job loss and those." You gotta stay relevant.
yeah.
This is what it is. It's the job loss, it's like what happened in the computer age.
Mhm.
If you weren't staying with the times, you weren't staying relevant, yes, you're not going to, but any position, if you're not living up and, being of value, you're gonna lose it's a job, it's not gonna be
Yeah.
you're not gonna keep it.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
how do
yeah,
you stay relevant in this day and age? And
yeah.
I have found this course, one of the reasons I created is I've talked to a lot of women who are really like, oh, they just don't feel safe. And so I give them a very safe space and we have
I
those
love that. I
conversations
love that. Mhm.
so that they feel like they can go out and they can do it and they can create and be proud of how they do their work. So
Now, is your course more mainly for women or is it for both genders?
both,
Okay,
both genders.
great,
Yep.
great. All right, so I know that I told you 30 minutes and I already kept you a little longer than I said, but I do want people to know how to get that course, right? And to actually get themselves moving forward because they should not be afraid of this. And I love that the first thing you came off the bat with was being authentic. And I want people to understand that using GPT or any of these AIs does not mean you're not authentic. It just is going to take your thought process and what you actually are trying to articulate but can't quite put in words. It'll
Hmm.
help you with that. I have one of my clients is a writer and she loves to write and she was so afraid to use ChatGPT because she thought it would steal her voice and that she wouldn't be able to articulate or have a voice anymore. Well, she's found quite the opposite because I said to her, I said, no, what I want you to do is do not rely on it like your writer. Rely on it like a editor, a friend,
Ooh,
like
that's
something
good.
like that,
Yes,
and she's like,
yes.
oh, I never thought of that. I'm like, yes, write and tell it, don't change my words. I just want you to help me edit this and make sure it's streamlined properly. And that's what she's been doing. And she has been
Mm,
exploding, right? Because at first she was
so
thinking
good.
it's going to write for me, but you don't have to do that, right, Mary Kay? Like you can actually use it as the second pair of eyes, like a partnership, and now that it has the little
Yeah.
that little world symbol at the bottom where it can go and search the whole
Yep.
internet, why spend 20 hours doing that yourself when it literally can do it in moments
Yeah.
for you, right?
Yeah.
So I love that, and I'm
That.
so
Mhm.
excited about your course and all that it's going to do to help people. So how do they find that? How do they find you? Give us all of that information.
So my website is soulinfusedai.com,
I love that.
and Mary Kay at soulinfusedai.com is my email address.
Hmm.
You can reach me out there, go out to my website, you can contact me off of that. And yeah, if you're, just interested in learning more, I am running workshops. I will be running workshops as an introductory to the course. So then the workshops, they are going to be free for anyone to attend, just to get a taste of what we're going to be doing in the
Hmm.
course,
Is that going
kind
to
of
be
see
on
what
your
it is.
site? On your
It
website?
will.
Okay.
Yes, it
Okay.
will.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so
and they'll
you
be
you
run weekly. I'll be running the workshops
oh, okay.
weekly.
Great, great,
So
great. Yeah, oh, you're putting in the work, Mary Kay. You're putting
I
in the
am.
work.
I'm so
I'm
passionate about
I
supporting our
love
residents.
that. No, I love that, and it's necessary. It's necessary. Like I said, I have all my clients were not using it, and just
Mhm.
in me giving them little snippets because I didn't even give them like the whole rundown. But when I showed them, oh, this is how you create a GPT. This is how you put your branding in. They were like,
Yeah,
"What?" I'm
yeah,
like, "So okay, so a lot of people don't know about this, Mary Kay, and they need it. They
yeah. You know what?
absolutely need it."
One thing I would love to tell people to do because they don't know this is if you don't have ideas, have it ask you questions.
Yeah,
Say, give me questions until I can figure out what I'm doing. And
yeah,
I
love
love
that.
it's a lot of people
Love that.
don't know that you can have it kind of take over and draw things out of you,
Yeah, yeah.
which is another really, really cool piece of it.
Yeah, and also I had all of my women make it interview them or make it a sales call. And I said, tell
Yeah,
ChatGPT to give you all the objections that they would find in your niche. And they were like, "Ooh," but I said
yeah,
that way you're comfortable. Like when you get that objection, You give it and then tell it, did that give you a good enough reason for you to change your mind? Be hard on me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like that
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of, so it prepares you. So thank you so
yeah.
much for being here and for doing what you're doing in the world. And I love what you're doing. And I think it's really important for all who are listening, because I have a lot of entrepreneurs and solopreneurs that listen to the show, like to think about like how they're going to incorporate this as a partnership. So I appreciate
Mhm.
that so much, Mary Kay. And the authenticity piece is, I love it. And I love that you call it Soul Infused AI. Amazing. Great job. I thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you,
Awesome.
Nina. This
That's
has been
so good.
amazing, and appreciate you especially doing these podcasts. I
Thank
This is
you.
beautiful.
Yeah, as long as we can keep putting good out in the world and helping people, I'm going to keep doing it. I've been doing it for 6 years. It's going to keep going. So thank
Wow.
you so much for that. I
Beautiful. Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Yes, guys, I told you, right? Yep, 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 yep. Good human. So I'm going to make sure to list all of Mary Kay's information below. You guys should really take this course. So I'm going to give you all of her website, all of that info, just to make sure that you contact her. Now, here's the thing. I think that all of you who are afraid, because I've spoken to a lot of you and I know that you are, stop it. Stop it right now. Okay. Everybody's always afraid of something new when it comes out. When computers first came out, people were freaking out and they were all afraid. And now we're so used to the computers, it's not a big deal. So it's the same thing with AI. Get used to it because it's here to stay, guys. And it's going to do is evolve and get better and better and better and better to the point where every single job, I mean, think about it, even jobs that are like cashier jobs are using AI, right? So it's time to get on the ball and get yourself to be forward thinking. Don't stay stuck. I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me and Mary Kay. Make sure you reach out, like, share, subscribe. You already know the drill. Thank you guys for being here. This is Neena Perez. Straight talk, no sugar added. Until next time.